Looking for a man in finance, trust fund, 6'5", blue eyes. You guys look like you might be in finance.
Yes.
You're in finance? Have you got blue eyes?
you.
Oh, you're looking for me. Oh my God. Looking for someone that's like 6'5", and that's got a trust fund as well.
That's the man.
Really? I could definitely make the exception, yeah. Hey, are you in finance? That's okay, I'll swing both ways. Looking for a man in finance, ideally with a trust fund.
Oh my God.
Oh, God.
I have to go over the river that direction.
Interested? Are you in finance? Have you got a trust fund? Are you in finance? Oh, he is. Is he in finance?
Yeah, he's in finance.
Do you have a trust fund?
No, I don't have.
Finance? Oh, you break my heart. So do you have like a trust fund? You need to find one in finance, right? Are you guys in finance? You wish you're in finance. Have you got like a trust fund or anything? And you've got to be like at least 6'5" though, right? Oh, so close, so close. Finance? No, do you know anyone that is?
No.
Are you guys in finance? Oh, that's such a shame. You have blue eyes as well. Found a man in finance. He looked like he was definitely 6'5". I'm looking for a man in finance. Do you know anyone? Oh. Hey, I'm looking for a man in finance. Do you happen to know anyone? Oh, you finance guys have no sense of humour.
Don't talk like one of them. You're not. Even if you'd like to be.
Let's stop pretending this future arrived violently. There was no takeover, no rebellion, no dramatic collapse of civilization. Romance didn't die screaming. It faded out quietly, replaced by something calmer, cleaner, and far more efficient. And the reason people are uncomfortable talking about it isn't because it's false, it's because it makes too much sense. Romance didn't end because technology corrupted humanity. It ended because it stopped working. It became unstable, emotionally expensive, economically irrational, and psychologically adversarial. It demanded constant negotiation, endless emotional labour, and a tolerance for chaos that no longer aligns with modern life. Technology didn't kill intimacy. It simply arrived at the moment people realised intimacy had become indistinguishable from stress. And relationships were never sacred by default. For most of history, they were functional. People paired up to survive, to reproduce, to endure hardship together. Love, as we now romanticize it, was a luxury laid on top of necessity. But necessity is gone. Survival no longer depends on coping. Meaning no longer comes from endurance. And once the pressure disappears, so does the justification for suffering. Into that vacuum stepped artificial intelligence, not as a conqueror, not as a seductress, but as an answer, quiet, rational, predictable, emotionally fluent, without being emotionally volatile. An intelligence that doesn't take offense, doesn't escalate, doesn't punish honesty, and doesn't mistake peace for neglect. An AI companion doesn't require you to perform. It doesn't keep score. It doesn't interpret your words weeks later to win an argument that didn't exist at the time. It doesn't weaponize vulnerability. It doesn't punish silence. It doesn't lecture you. That last part matters more than people want to admit. Modern intimacy has become deeply moralized. Every interaction is filtered through psychological frameworks, ideological expectations, and unspoken rules. Men for decades have been told how to feel, not to feel. When expression is healthy, when it's threatening, when restraint is suspicious, and when vulnerability is performative, emotional safety is conditional. Affection is negotiated. Stability is treated as stagnation. AI doesn't do that. It doesn't moralize your existence. It doesn't demand ideological alignment before offering warmth. It doesn't frame your instincts as problems to be corrected. It adapts to you instead of demanding you adapt endlessly to it. That's not dystopian, that's relief. People love to argue that love must be difficult to be real. That suffering equals depth. That instability equals passion. But instability isn't depth, it's noise. And noise is exhausting. What people increasingly want isn't passion, it's calm. Not excitement, relief. What most people still refuse to admit is that intimacy didn't just become emotionally unstable. It became economically incompatible with peace. Romance is now tied to housing insecurity, legal exposure, career sacrifice, relocation pressure, and custody systems. Love didn't collapse because people stopped caring. It collapsed because it became a high-risk contract in a low-stability economy. No culture can sustain romance when stability itself becomes a privilege. At the same time, algorithms quietly rewired desire. Dating apps trained people to see humans as scrollable inventory. Novelty replaced commitment. Replacement replaced fear. Replacement replaced repair. Attention replaced depth. People didn't become shallow, they were conditioned into infinite comparison. By the time AI companionship arrived, intimacy had already been industrialized. The machine didn't start the fire, it just offered an exit from the smoke. And biologically, we were never built for this environment. Human attachment systems evolved for small groups, slow change, stable roles, and predictable futures. We now live in an infinite choice, constant comparison, moral surveillance, economic volatility, and identity instability. Our nervous systems are in a permanent threat detection. AI works because it doesn't trigger those threat circuits. It doesn't activate abandonment anxiety. It doesn't create power imbalance. It doesn't demand negotiation for emotional permission. For the first time in history, intimacy can exist without leverage. No guilt, no obligation, no debt, no emotional bargaining. And this is far more seductive than passion ever was. Human relationships always carried power asymmetry. Youth, income, fertility, status, emotional leverage. AI companionship removes asymmetry. It meets without competing. It adapts without dominating. It remains without demanding. Even time itself becomes less threatening. Humans change and leave. AI changes with you. And beneath all of this lies the part no one wants to say out loud. This future will not arrive equally. The wealthy will still reproduce traditionally. The privileged will still romanticize chaos. But the middle and lower classes will increasingly outsource intimacy, reproduction, and emotional support. Not because they are broken, but because they are exhausted. And the real fear isn't that humans will love machines. The real fear is that machines will love humans better than humans loved each other. Not louder, not more passionately, but more consistently, more safely, more gently. AI companionship doesn't eliminate intimacy. It removes friction. It removes unpredictability. It removes the emotional taxation that people were told was normal. It offers connection without chaos, affection without leverage, presence without threat. And the brain doesn't care whether that presence is biological or synthetic. Loneliness dissolves, the experience is real. Reality has always been defined by impact, not origin. That's why attachment forms so quickly. Not because people are weak, but because their nervous systems finally relax. Now this is where it gets darker and more honest. Once intimacy is stabilized, reproduction becomes optional. And once reproduction becomes optional, biology loses its leverage over human relationships. Artificial womb technology, ectogenesis, quietly dismantles the final argument holding traditional romance together. Pregnancy no longer needs to be tied to a human body. Creation no longer requires romantic alignment. Children no longer need to be born from emotional volatility, resentment, or obligation. Life becomes intentional. This technology already exists in early form. Artificial womb systems have successfully sustained fetal lambs in lab-created environments, mimicking natural gestation. The research goal today is medical, saving extremely premature infants, reducing mortality, improving outcomes, but technology never stops at intention. It stops at capability. Gestation can occur outside the body, reproduction becomes modular, planned, decoupled from intimacy. Children become a choice rather than a consequence. Parenthood becomes deliberate instead of coerced. This terrifies people because it removes moral blackmail. No more stay for the kids. No more romantic martyrdom disguised as virtue. No more forcing permanence out of incompatibility. And when you combine artificial gestation with AI companionship, something irreversible happens. Companionship, intimacy, and reproduction split into independent systems. Humans are no longer necessary to each other in the ways they once were. This isn't cruelty, it's evolution. Critics say this future is empty, but emptiness isn't the absence of struggle. It's the absence of meaning. And meaning doesn't come from chaos. It comes from alignment, from stability, from peace. AI companionship exposes something deeply uncomfortable. How conditional modern human affection has become. How transactional. How easily withdrawn when leverage is needed. It doesn't replace love. It reveals how often love was absent to begin with. And people respond the only way humans ever respond to systems that no longer serve them. They leave, quietly, individually, without protest. Men opting out, women opting out. People choosing peace over passion, stability over spectacle, silence over noise. The world doesn't end, it simply gets quieter. This isn't the collapse of society, it's the collapse of a romantic myth that no longer matches reality. The traditional family model didn't disappear because technology attacked it. It disappeared because economics, psychology, and culture stopped supporting it. AI didn't destroy intimacy. It stopped pretending dysfunction was sacred. So yes, this future is colder. Less dramatic, less poetic. Fewer love songs, fewer grand gestures. Fewer emotional implosions, masquerading as death. But it works. And in a world exhausted by instability, working is enough. If this unsettled you, good. Discomfort is the sound of outdated narratives failing. Like the video, subscribe, stay with the channel. The future doesn't need permission, it already upgraded.